Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANS plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered, which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection, as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute's 35th Public Testimonial Meeting, where you can share your experiences, plasma experiences, in all languages. Today's Monday, October 14th, 2019. And welcome, Rick. Welcome, Peggy, and others here.
Yes, hi, Flint. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the public testimonial meeting. Okay.
Who wants to start?
And I'll start by saying that we're going to try to keep the meeting to about 2 hours today, maybe 2.5 hours maximum. That's the new format of the public teachings. So we keep that in mind and try to compress our ideas during that time period. Okay, well, we've had a view of the futuristic health unit there that you could see in that video that was presented, as seen and talked about by Mr. Kesh in the last couple of Knowledge Seekers workshops. So now we see how far the technology can be taken. This is the same basic technology as the in use of the GANs and use of reactors of some kind, and in a self-contained system. And it's interesting to see Mr. Kesh has released this, and he has a plan for incremental improvements. Some of them are not, some of the improvements are way more than incremental, as he intends to first of all make the unit self-contained, which means it'll have its own power supply. And then the next stage, once that power unit is part of the project, then eventually we could see lift and the unit turn into an actual spaceship. So this is a interesting idea, to say the least. Mr. Kesh has a timeline of revealing such things in Iran. Should be the lift technology, and I believe that's in April of next year. And I think he's revealing the actual unit itself is supposed to be ready by the end of the year for production, and people should be able to you can order them now at a special reduced price of 150,000 euro plus shipping, and otherwise he said the price is going up to, I think he said, 1 million euros after the new year. So we shall see. This is big news and quite exciting in the world of testimonials. There is also a video that came out during the workshop. Maybe we could have a look at it, but people can just refer to it in the workshop. That after we showed the unit, Mr. Kesh had me put on a video of this person who wasn't able to walk, and after treatment, they were able to get at first sort of shuffling along with a walker, and then eventually walking with some assistance, and then walking actually on their own, and then walking actually quite well on their own, and relearning how to do simple things like bend over and pick something up, and keeping your balance while doing that after not walking for, I think it was 10 years, basically a paralysis kind of condition. So that was quite impressive. Maybe we could have a look at that video. I could put it on here. It is a testimonial, and it's already public, so why not? I think it's about 6 minutes long.
And did this person go through this prototype of one of these units?
Yeah, they went through the same. The way I understand is they went through this. They used the same basic system, which is roughly based on what we see out of Austria with the star configuration reactors with GANs, and I believe you can see a little bit of the system at one point in this video if you look real closely, but it doesn't have the actual housing around it. It doesn't look like the egg and so on. It's just the bare bones essentials of that makes the system work, and that's what this person is under. Let me just get it lined up here. Okay, so begins the subject is in a wheelchair, and I think there's music audio with this or something, I forget now. So okay, here we go. guess there's no sound in this, so we can just comment. You can see that after a few days, he's able to start walking with a walker, kind of. Actually, once he gets going here, he does fairly well with it, but it's
What was his condition?
I'm not clear. I can't remember if Mr. Kesh mentioned that or not. Does anybody remember that that's present here?
He mentioned he had Parkinson's and Alzheimer's at the same time. Wasn't it that Chinese bloke?
No,
Yes.
we're keeping his identity unidentified at this point. So
Yeah, but by his haircut and his head, you can more or less-
John, we're keeping his identification unidentified right now. That's deliberate.
I don't know his name,
He doesn't
so
want to be known all over the world, perhaps. Okay. No more clues. Oh, excuse me. I have a.
this was put up in the public teaching, so there's not much more we can say about it.
So he goes through a series of exercises and is basically relearning how to walk and get up and do things and so on. So this is after about 2 weeks.
So you said his condition was caused him to be like in a wheelchair for like 10 years?
I think that's what Mr. Kesh said. Is that what
Okay.
you remember, John, or anybody else?
Yes, it was
Yes.
many years.
Yes.
I couldn't really remember the amount. You know.
Wow.
It was 10 years, I believe, is what was stated.
10 years. Right.
10 years with Parkinson and Alzheimer.
You can also tell the lady's haircut.
So yeah, that's a pretty amazing.
I would say in a few days of treatment, even the second day.
But this one shown in public, why we don't have sound?
I don't think there's sound with this.
Yes, there is sound from Mr. Cash explaining.
Well, he was explaining in the workshop, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes,
he's not playing the workshop recording. He's playing.
Yeah,
the
this is
actual
just
video.
the playing recording. That's why it's probably it would have been better to take the excerpt out of the workshop, and that way we would have had Mr. Kesh explaining. That's right. But this way we get to comment, I guess. If people want to refer back to it, they can go back to the workshop and hear the full workshop with the full explanation of everything in the proper context and so on. So now we see he's able to actually get up on a chair and maintain balance and so on, which is
Very good teasing.
better.
Yes, Rick.
Very good what?
Very good teasing.
Teasing.
Teasing them to go to the workshop.
For normal people, good day, everyone. For like you say, normal people, when you have, I don't know, in one leg or one arm, no, immobilized in like an injury, no, not broken leg. Only
Like a
the
paralysis or a nerve injury or something, you mean?
no in normal way, no. For in 1 month, your muscle is atrophied. You forget how moving muscle is diminuate. It's rigidize the movement, everything. After a lot of years, in few days, what mobility have? Standing in the chair for long time. For me, in 1 month, it's difficult.
Keep your balance. Well, Mr.
Yes,
Kesha says that's why you need a physiotherapist to help you out.
yes, John, it's true because when you it's immobilize one arm or one leg, forget. And I thinking in this phantom pain when you don't have the arm or leg, but you also feeling the pain in the tingling in the fingers. It's emotional, from emotional to physicality, the cure, not cure, self-curing, balancing.
I like the shot where I don't know what day it is, 2, 3, or 4, where Mr. Kesh is narrating, and then he says, "Look, he's going in his pocket for something. He wants to drive the car," and he opens the car. They didn't show him driving, but he's ready to.
Yes, right. So Waldemir asks, can we build a low-cost universal enhancement spaceship unit, like made of nano-coated zinc or nano-coated fiberglass egg-shaped cocoon? Well, sure, you can build whatever you want, Waldemir, but it won't be Kesha's unit, that's for sure, because he made his unit so that if you open it up, then you actually destroy the working mechanism, and he has it specially set. And not only that, but it has to have special alterations and so on for each specific problem that somebody has. And it requires a doctor that's educated in the plasma technology to be able to make the correct adjustments and so on. So, yeah, you can build it, but it won't necessarily have the same success. Depends on your skill and abilities and a bunch of things. There's lots of ways to do it. People have been building these units for years already with the star configuration, rotating reactors with GANs and so on is the basic sort of principle.
Rick, every person have one building from birth, but depend how you understanding for using. My plasma device, it's from 40 years old, from day of my birthday.
Yeah, we understand that, Dan, that's true. But Waldemir is talking about a unit like we saw in the video that would be, this egg-shaped cocoon thing that one might get into. And he's talking about building a low-cost version of the other.
Austria has already offered a few months ago a low-cost one with no egg to it.
I have it. It's no cost nothing. I have it inside me, outside me.
Then you don't need the egg like some people would, perhaps. You can already repair everything that you need to fix yourself, and you don't have to use the unit like this. You can already go to space, and you can already do everything that you want to do. So why would you want a unit like that? You don't need it. You're already in good health, so you don't need to have it. But other people might need to have their soul energized in order to make the changes they need to make inside themselves to connect better with their soul, perhaps.
Some people travel on a Malaysian tricycle and others go in a Rolls Royce. What's the difference in the price?
Well, what I was going to say is we know this unit has some beautiful side effects. And one of the side effects that I noted was that you will be able to take the sequences, whatever they are, it must be some sort of language for the unit. And if you need to go to another state, or you need to attend a meeting, or you need to attend a wedding, Mr. Kesh said, he said, if there's a unit in that area, you will be able to give the doctor the sequences and you'll be able to have your treatment right there. So I think that's a beautiful, again, returning the dignity to the man, that you're not locked to one hospital, or you have to wait for your doctor and you have to stay around and miss out on parts of life that you could have enjoyed.
He also mentioned China was putting up a new revolutionary internet connection to join all this.
And of course, your use will be restricted if the foundation does not have your iris scan and your fingerprint to accompany.
Okay, well, seeing that we only have a limited time here, maybe we should get more into our own testimonials, or we could review what Mr. Kesh said about this if we wanted to, if we don't have testimonials to present. But it's kind of the idea here to present testimonials. So we could, does anyone have something that they expected to present here, would like to bring up or present, or whatever?
Yanni says he has something there in chat.
Hello, Rick.
You know,
Hello, everyone. John, ¿estás? John Wells.
Ya no, no me estaba reaccionando el botón. Sí, estoy aquí. Por un
Bueno,
rato, porque tengo que abrir el Spanish dentro de un ratito.
Sí, por eso quería hacer, para entrar también en el español, voy a hacerlo ahora, ¿vale?
Yeah, Johnny would like to present this right now because in 20 minutes time, we've got to open the Spanish class.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Me dicen que no puedo abrir el screen share.
Go ahead.
Oh.
If there's problems, you just put him as a co-host and he has no problems then.
You cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing.
Maybe just stop sharing, Flint, and it might be easier for him to find it or something.
It's okay. Quiero presentar el oasis de Petrila. John.
Yeah.
I
I
want
want
to
to
share
present Petrela Oasis.
Y son algunas fotos que he hecho hace 3 horas
These are some pictures I've taken 3 hours ago.
en el invernadero y afuera.
Outside and inside the greenhouse.
Aquí son los tomates, varios tipos, como sabéis.
These are different types of tomatoes.
Y aquí la temperatura de afuera son 10, 12 grados.
And outside, right now we've got about 10 to 12 degrees centigrade.
Y en el invernadero es verano.
And inside the greenhouse, it's summer.
Y afuera en el oasis todo verde. Y en los vecinos todo seco y ya casi nada.
Outside in the oasis, all plants are green, and our neighbors have lost all their growth, and it's all yellow.
Y como he dicho varias veces, he puesto 1 litro de agua cada semana a una planta de tomate.
And I've only given each tomato plant about 1 liter of water once a week.
Y en el último mes he pasado de 3 semanas sin nada de agua.
And for the last 3 weeks, I haven't given them any water at all.
Porque he comprendido que solo con los campos las almas de las plantas se pueden alimentar.
Because I've convinced myself that the plants can feed off the fields and don't need any water.
Y los tomates y todas las semillas que sacamos del oasis
And all the seeds we get out of the plants from the oasis
son para compartirlo con la gente de Rumanía y de otros países.
are shared with other people from Romania and other countries.
Para que puedan cultivarlos en sus jardines.
So they can plant them in their own gardens.
Y para que puedan así aprender a elevar su alma.
So they can learn how to elevate their own souls.
Voy a poner también algunos vídeos pequeños.
I put some short videos up also.
Donde se puede ver que todavía tienen flores, las tomates y otras plantas.
Where you can see the different plants like tomatoes and what have you still have some flowers.
Algunos tomates ya alcanzan 700 gramos a 1 kilo, por ahí.
Some of the tomatoes grow as big as 700 grams to 1 kilogram.
Y solo tenemos abajo los ganses en cubetas.
And we only have Gans water in small vials or vials. I forget now what it was, Rick. Down below on the earth. It was vials, wasn't it?
Vials, John, yeah.
Who's that calling? ¿Quién era el que estaba llamando ahí?
¿Cómo, John?
¿Quién era el que estaba llamando ahí? ¿El perro?
Sí, sí, sí. Tenemos tres peritas y 15 gatitas.
We've
Los
got
reactores,
dogs and 15 different cats.
ya se pueden ver los reactores de CH3 y óxido de cobre.
Gianni, un
Sí.
dato. Una persona acá me dijo que el mejor pesticida para las plantas es la Coca-Cola.
Sí,
¿Me
yo,
entendí?
pero nosotros no. Sí,
No,
nosotros
no,
no
entiendo, entiendo, pero en caso extremo tenés ese recurso. I'm telling Gianni, a bloke told me a couple of days ago that the best pesticide for any plant is Coca-Cola. It's much better than any other thing. It keeps all the pests away and it doesn't damage the plant.
En el vídeo ya se ha visto las probetas abajo, el sol YY que está en el centro del invernadero.
You could see the sun, the JJ sun in the middle of the roof there, hanging there. You can see it. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Un tomate o un pepino? ¿Qué es?
Tomate. Ahora se puede ver afuera cómo están los vecinos.
Here you could see how our neighbors have nothing growing right now.
Y en el oasis ya está verde y todo, ya hay flores, es como hay otro tiempo
Otro
en
mundo.
el oasis. Sí,
Otro mundo.
Sí.
You can see the difference between the neighbors and our place. It's another world.
Ok, eso fue el oasis. Y si hay preguntas, si no, muy corto, quería presentar también el portátil.
¿El porta qué?
El portátil.
Ah,
¿Qué he hecho con el portátil?
does anybody have any questions, or if not, he'll show us a portable system.
Ok.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions, so go ahead.
We're all
Okay,
flabbergasted with images.
Aquí es un portátil Asus i7.
This is a computer, portable computer, Asus A7.
Y hace un año lo he hecho con GANs.
And a year ago, I've made it work with GANs.
Y como se puede ver en las imágenes, he sacado los ventiladores.
I've taken away the ventilators.
Y he puesto gotas de GANs.
And I've put dots of GANs on the dissipating bars.
También he hecho en la batería.
And also on the batteries.
Se va a ver un poquito más adelante.
You will be able to see this further on.
Y tenía problema con el portátil porque se calentaba mucho y no funcionaba.
I used to have a lot of problems with the computer laptop would overheat continually and would stop. And now I've fixed it with this help of GANs and no ventilators.
Y después de poner el GANs, ya no tuve problema con él.
¿Y con las baterías tampoco?
La batería no funcionaba de hace años. Bueno, después de 2 años, la batería no funcionaba porque, sabéis, después de 2 años ya se va.
Sí, se endurecen. The batteries haven't been working for 2 years and I've revived them with some GANs.
Pero como está, se puede ver arriba en la imagen, la
As you can-
batería, sí, diga.
Sí, no, te lo iba a decir en inglés, pero sí, se puede ver la batería, los puntos ahí de GANs.
La batería está encima del portátil y he hecho discos con GANs en una parte.
And as you can see, batteries have added GANs to them and some discs are right up top. ¿Y los
La
discos qué
batería-
son? ¿Son baterías o es otra cosa?
No, son discos de maquillaje, John.
Ah, up top, those discs they use for taking the women take
Makeup,
the
cotton.
makeup off their faces. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of GANs was used?
¿Qué ganses usas?
He utilizado los 4
I've used the 4 of them.
y en la otra parte de la batería he puesto cobre nano.
And on the other part of the battery, I put nano-coated copper.
Un folio muy fino que he sacado de
De la
las
batería.
baterías, ¿sí?
Yeah, very thin copper foil, which I've taken out of the old batteries.
Y la batería tiene 3 celdas, cada una de 6 voltios.
And the batteries have 3 different cells of 6 volts each one of them.
Después de poner el cobre nano y los GANs, ya empezó a funcionar otra vez.
After putting the the batteries in the nano-coated foils, the batteries started working again.
Sí, y todavía funciona y puedo utilizarlo algunos 4 o 5 horas, depende qué y cuántos programas utilizo en el mismo tiempo.
And normally it will function for 4 or 5 hours. All depends on what programs I use.
La idea fue, normalmente es 1 año y pico,
Que se te ocurrió hace 1 año y pico.
sí, después de ver un vídeo donde el señor Cash está presentando y hablando de un portátil y cómo puede hacer con el sistema de enfriamiento para que se alimentan.
Uh-huh. This idea I picked up from a video Mr. Kesh had done about a year and a half ago, and I've imitated it.
Y quiero dar las gracias por eso, porque así mi portátil funciona mejor de como nuevo.
And I thank Mr. Kesh for showing me this because my computer right now works very much better than what it used to.
He hecho lo mismo con otros 2 portátiles,
I've done this with 2 other computers,
un HP de 9 años
a Hewlett Packard 9 years old
y un HP de 7 años.
and another one of 7 years old.
He logrado lo mismo con lo de enfriarse para que no se calientan.
I've done this so they won't overheat, and they don't overheat at all now.
Y lo sé que tengo que trabajar más para hacer lo que se autoalimentan.
I've got to do some more work to them so they could auto feed the energy,
Porque eso es la intención con que he hecho todo eso.
because this is the intention. I've done all this work to them.
Ahora estoy trabajando en el cuarto portátil
Now I'm working on a 4th computer
porque un amigo tiene problemas con él que también se está calentando mucho y no funciona.
because this friend of mine brought me this computer, and he has problems of overheating, and it won't work.
Aquí en las fotos ahora son los gotas de GANs con el microscopio 40X.
This picture is from taken with a microscope with 40 amplification. of the bubbles of water GANs on the different components.
Aquí es el GANs de CO2 y ZNO.
This picture is from CO2 and zinc oxide GANs.
Aquí es el CH3 y el
This is
deuterio.
and deuterium.
Y aquí encima del disco duro que tiene 7200 vueltas por minuto, hecho también GANs.
And on the hard disk with 7,200 revolutions per minute, I've also put some droplets of GANs.
Y aquí es el CCD que tiene 256 giga.
And this is on a compact disk reader, which has 256 gigabytes.
El disco duro es de 1 tera.
The hard disk is 1 terabyte.
Ok, eso quería presentar y mostrar. Y gracias al señor Kirsch y a vosotros a todos para poder compartir eso. Gracias.
Thank you all, and thank you for letting me present this to you. Gracias, muchísimas gracias, Gianni.
Very good, and thank you, Johnny. Always good to see your updates there and continuation of your work. I think Johnny
Hewlett
has...
Packard won't be very happy, will it?
Yeah, he's restoring all these old laptops. If only he could restore Windows 10 as well, that would be nice.
Yes, who's asking for something?
I missed the part where he said something about Coca-Cola as a pesticide. Was he saying? Could he?
No, I said it. I said
that?
it.
Oh, you said that.
A couple of days ago, a bloke came along and he said he's given up using pesticides and he's replaced it with Coca-Cola, and he scares all the different pests away with that.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so you got a cheaper pesticide to work with, and it won't harm your your whatever you're going to eat.
How do you use it?
Just spray it on the plants.
Well, John, forget about Coca-Cola. We must go, okay? Bye. See you in the Spanish.
Fine.
Okay,
Cheerio
también
to all of you.
Spanish.
Yes, I understand there's a Spanish workshop now, so we're going to lose a few people here apparently. So thank you,
all.
Johnny.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you all.
Okay, take care. Bye for now.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right, anybody else like to come forward with their testimonial? Okay, well, perhaps we can have a look at the link that Peggy set up with the comments from Mr. Kesh about the unit. Just go back and find that. Okay, just a second here. That's in the 297th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, which I'll get lined up here now. right, so we'll listen to Mr. Kesh describe the unit and the setup to this person that we saw that recovered from Parkinson's and other diseases. Okay, let me just play it here.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GAN's plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
You can leave the picture of the unit on if you like.
Okay.
The beauty with this is reality. The beauty with it is that already a number of people have been through this process and are going through this process, and in so many ways it works, and it works very effectively. As you see on the screen, the value, initial value for this system has been put at €150,000. This will hold as an introductory unit for the Keshe Foundation supporters who want to have access to it. From 1st of January, the price will rise to €500,000, $500,000. For 3 months, we hold this value, this price. And by then, as the government and officials and different organizations become to be aware of it, that it has to pay back 4 years of research which has developed it and invested by the Keshe Foundation. The price from the 1st of March 2020 will rise to $1 million per €1 million per unit. So this introductory price will hold only for more or less another 2 months. Delivery is guaranteed. The January, we can deliver up to several hundred units a month, and from what we see, will go and run into the backlog to 12 months and plus. These units carry a contractual agreement, which means the foundation, be it global, be it Keshe Foundation Austria, be it the Keshe Foundation China selling the systems, receive 30% contractual agreement from any processing paid by the patients. It's fully automized, it's fully computerized. Doctors will control it remote, and at the same time, it's a CE standard certification, class 1. It was given certification to it, and will be delivered from any of the 3 companies of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. Each one takes the rights, the position of the title, owned by Austrian Keshe Foundation. In so many ways, you got to see, as it says, you have additional pieces with it. Different diseases need different setting, different equipment, different materials. You might need t-shirts, hats, breathing systems, drinking systems. We have put this as a package, which is, if you remember, if you go to the Keshe Foundation, we sell t-shirts for 39 something, and the hats and whatever. Everything which is with this package will be around 19 euro, 19.99 euro. And some items like t-shirts will be done as low as 9.99. But the package put together for each medical unit with the quality we put in is around about 175 to 200 euro. But it means the volunteer, or the what they call the person who gets processed, will get one of these from the doctors or practitioner before they go through the system. In a very near future, maybe 12 months or so, we can tailor make to the disease, to the person. As you go for prescription, the doctor says they've tested medicine, 1,000 million people tested, whatever side effect they never announced, you have to take it. It's not individually for you. You have some side effects. It's the problem with side effects. If the other people don't have, lucky them. With this technology, we tailor make the system to fit the disease, to fit the man. Never been done before. But it's both emotional and physical. And it brings a lot of changes. It brings a lot of effects. We are here to, in a way, to show this as a first series of the technologies. Later on this month, the power system for charging automotive will be released to major car manufacturers around the world, which means branded names, Germany, Japan, China, United States, will get the technology at the same time. This is the way we operate. So, you know, the branded electric cars, and many major companies around the world trying to go into the electric car business will receive this knowledge on the contractual agreement, demonstration of the work, into the Keshe Foundation process. The generation of self-generating energy to run this unit, the health of the battery and everything else, will be looked after by the new technology. The enhancement spaceship unit will have no power supply from outside in its model as is developed. You got to understand, with this technology, we can target organs. We can target part of the body which could not be done in a very specific way for physicians and doctors to be able to support their program. We see as we're going along now, as you know, we showed the preliminary type this in Vienna to the world, to the science, to the Keshe Foundation supporters and the diplomats. In this process, with a new technology, we allow maximum 2 to 4 months for at least 70 to 80% recovery from many, many, many diseases. It'll be done by doctors and physicians. This is a medical class 1 certified because it's not intruding, it's just environmental change. We allow doctors, physiotherapists, have to be part of this organization, whoever buys from us. The reason is people 10 years, 5 years in wheelchair, they suddenly can move. We don't see damages to them, but we need physicians to teach them to control the reduction in the medication, and at the same time, what we call physiotherapists to bring the muscles in order that they can enjoy life. There is a huge demand. I've received many communications. Where can we go? How can we start? It starts from first week of January, delivery. We release the name of the doctors and the places they place these systems that you can go to. You deal directly with the doctors, not with the Keshe Foundation. You deal directly with the physicians and the hospitals. We control every step of this process as we have to monitor the operation. There's many of you who ask, what can we do? How can we get to this? How can we help our loved ones with different diseases? We have 2 phases which from today we announce, and we are adding to it. Many of you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for different diseases for years to come, and you have already paid. And you're willing to pay to help, but it's just individually to you. And then what will be the next? We announce a new procedure from today, and those of the Keshe Foundation supporters who want to join and do it, please go through it and do it. After Christmas, we stop this process. What this is, we give an option to knowledge seekers and the people around the world. If you have, or anybody you know has any condition, there is a fee charged wherever you go. We can send you to a hospital, you pay the fee to the hospital, and then you stay in the hospital, and that's it. Or you can connect to 2 or 3 or 4 other people in your country and put that finance, which you want to pay for one of each, to acquire a unit. You need to find a location, a doctor and a physiotherapist. The foundation will support you financially for part of this till it starts getting revenue from the system that get paid back. If we raise enough funds to justify that we support the other part of the financing, we get involved. You set a company up in conjunction with us and we support you. But the first initial finance has to be there. There is one proviso with this one. Those who put these funds in to set up this, what we call health centers or application of technology centers, you become a shareholder in that group. So not only if you've been sick for years, you have no income once you start, on what you invested, you get earning a living like hospitals or whatever from it. We allow certain ways to be done, and the same with us. We take 30% off. All the other costs comes from it. So in your town, in your city, anybody with all the diseases who can use the system benefits the foundation and at the same time benefits you. It's very much like you become an agent to sell all the whatever the agents sell, but this time You helping yourself allows others to help from your help their families. At the same time, we work with what we call ethos. By the order of the Keshe Foundation, those limited numbers of people who cannot really afford will be given free access. We cover the cost from the foundation. So this is an opportunity for all of you who have loved ones or yourself in different diseases. You wanted to go to China or go to United Kingdom or somewhere. You don't need to move. You stay home. Your position, your finances will help the others in your own city, in your own area, for the others to be used. This is going to create a lot of problems for us initially. We can take it. We estimate and we know in the next 12 months, some 10,000 units we have prepared ourselves to put out. Our agreements with the Chinese partners, it still stands to switch from the old system to the new system. We'll set up a medical internet company. It's in the final phase of agreement in China, where the whole process of Keshe Foundation through medical side certified in China will be accessible for Chinese community and worldwide. So we have taken a medical position on the internet that our equipment, our systems will uniquely be in that position. In this process, now we allow you not to leave your country, not to leave your home, but in a way, what you were going to spend, you can spend in your own city and help your own people. The pricing all depends on what is covering the cost and allowing expansion and allowing to be correct with the structure of the work. So if you have a disease or condition, you find a doctor, you find a physician, you find a premises, and we support you all the way through in the structure. We train the doctors, we train everybody else, that you give a gift to your city in helping yourself, in help the others. You got to remember, we are here to learn from the whole structure. We learn more and more. So we start with number of diseases, with number of conditions, and the doctors, as is a medical system, will guide the volunteers, the patients, or whatever through. So now it comes back to knowledge seekers. In so many ways, now you can invest in your nation and for yourself. Go through the same channel. You tell us, this is what I want, what I have. I can get 3 or 4 or 10 other people together. We're all diseased. We have a problem. We have a doctor. We can put it there. We can put it in the house or whatever, or in an office, that everybody comes with the doctor present, with their certified usage, and we start working. I prefer to go this way to return back for your supports who've been around us. In so many ways, our interaction with the governments will allow this very rapidly to go across hospitals around the world. We can gear ourselves to thousands of units per month delivery. Setting it up in that order, that then behind that will come all the other things which we do. We give you link. Those of you who want to go to China, you will have a link to get in touch with through email, and you can go to China, stay in a hospital for 2 months, 3 months. These systems will be there, and it's a private hospital. You'll become part of the trial for certification, and the same will be. We are looking for 30 patients per category of illness, 6 of them, to if you want to go to China. The price has been put around 25,000 euro per case. So you can write to the email which is given, and in due course you'll be contacted. But if you want to stay inside your own country, your home, and help your own citizens, your own nation, we are prepared to support you. But this finishes in January, because once we go to the next phase of national and governmental, we cannot run this because governments have their own criteria of doing it. But in a way, what you put in allows us the next step to come in. So if you want to pay 25,000 to go to China, you can put 25,000, find 3 or 4 people with the same disease. The machine will be owned by the company which you own, you're a partner in it, and you, as is run, as it expands, you become part of the health new space technology in your city and your village. Many doctors would like to take this up, negotiate with us, but most of these within the next 2-3 weeks we have to solidify, because we know how we deal with the other parts. We support every nation to get the same. To us is to bring the technology fast to use, and this is the only way which can be done. Once you set up a center, it will be announced through Keshe Foundation worldwide. Anybody in your city, anybody in your country can come. You don't need to leave the country, you don't need to go and stay somewhere else. But this opportunity we give you. It has to be financially feasible for us, that we just don't put a machine there and it gets locked up, as we had in Germany, somebody getting a donation and locking a system up for their benefit. That system in Germany is obsolete. 1 unit of these will be given freely, as we promised, to the Austrian, German speaking, to the nation of Austria. We told you to return the systems back to us, and we told you it'll be updated, but we didn't tell you how it's going to be updated. One of the in-house systems will be donated, will be given to the Austrian and German speaking group of the Keshe Foundation. Find a location. Everybody still has to pay for it. Those who cannot afford, we get free. We have to confirm it. And the cost of the system will be covered by Keshe Foundation in what we promised you. You can keep the old system, it's obsolete. So that has to be, we are not opening a unit to be in competition with other Germans and Austrian people who are buying the system. We are opening a system to be for Keshe Foundation to start learning how to manage things. And as the factory and the Austrians and Germans supported the Austrian operation in the past years, this is our thank to you, and this is how we thank many people in different nations who helped us. 4 units will be put freely in the nation of China in a special clinic. It still goes through the same process. This is for all the Chinese Keshe Foundation supporters who would like to use the system. You still have to pay for it. If it's not possible, Foundation will decide. It's not the rite of passage. Those of you who are from China, or you want to go to China, you want to use the system. At the moment we have systems running in China, but you can join the new system version which is coming out. You write to Plasma China at 163.com. Plasma China at 163.
Let me just make a comment here that that's not the correct email address. It's actually Keshe Plasma China at is it 163?
163.
163.com. Yeah, so we'll just play it through, but just to let everybody know that.
Is it just Kesh? Or is it Kesh plasma or is it Kesh Foundation plasma?
Kesh Plasma China at
Thank you.
163.com. Mark House put it in the
Oh, he's faster
chat
than me.
there. Yeah, he's good. Thanks, Mark. And I'll put that in the other chats as well. Okay, let's carry on here. So this, you're saying, Peggy, this might go on for what, another 10 minutes or something? Because we should probably be, I think it'll get into the other part.
Yes, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, from the time where you started it to the time he's finished speaking about the gentleman with the medical condition, is about 35 minutes all told.
Right, so probably another 10 minutes or so. Okay, well, we'll play through that part. And I know that Carrie's waiting to give a bit of a testimonial, and maybe someone else by then. And then we'll try to wrap things up by 2 hours if we can. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, thank you. I'll continue playing this.
.com. You need 2 to 4 months, 2 months minimum to stay in the environment, a medical environment, that everything can be under control of the doctors, physicians, that everything is correct. And after the first 30 cases, the case goes for certification and registration in the different applications of the technology. You got to remember, the same will happen around the world. We had inquiries from different countries, or there are people who call me, can we buy unit? Can we do this? You can buy, anybody can buy a unit. You're a rich man, you want to help your country, you can buy a unit. But has to be in a company which is connected to Keshe Foundation. We open operation. We take control charge. You take share of the profit according to whatever we structure it. Has to have a doctor and a physiotherapy present. And has to be in a beautiful environment. The system is fully computerized. Nobody can switch it on and just get going with it. Everything is inside the central control. We put a team of doctors which 24 hours a day respond to all the machinery, all the doctors around the world who are using it if they need help and data. Let me show you what this technology can do. This is, we have a written agreement with our volunteers, and this gentleman came to us exactly last Sunday, 4 weeks ago, in a wheelchair. And you can see what this technology can do. And then we talk about it. We kept it very quiet. There's no noise, more or less. There's some videos, some pictures, and we'll talk afterwards. You see what we say, we deliver. And it's the same across people who have used this technology in China. Can you play the recording of the volunteer? We have a written confirmation. We can even show his face, but we prefer not to do so. Rick, can you play this piece of video? The German has a disease called Parkinson and Alzheimer's together. In a wheelchair, as you know, to get to this point, he needs at least 10 years. And he came to us with a family, and people have been deleted from the pictures. Person standing in front of me is one of the brain surgeons. There are a team of doctors, brain specialists, looking after this case in China. Can you start from the beginning, please? You know, the end, I think. Yeah. Day one. This is how he came to see and use the system. People have to hold him. He cannot hold. In 4 days, marvel of the technology. Man can walk, get his dignity back. It's amazing how this man, you see the foot is still the same. The system you see in the background is already obsolete with the new technology which is developed, but still you see him in day 5. The gentleman in red is his guy who will help clean him and wash him for and protect him. Now we can see 6 days, man does need no one. This is the beauty of the new technology. You see him walking for the first time. He's got in his hand, if you see in his pocket, the key of the car. He wants to drive. In 6 days, miracle of new technology. In 12 days, you saw the man who was in a wheelchair has more or less command of his life. This is in hospital environment, kept in the hospital condition. And there are other, what we call it, users of the technology with it. He can sit for the first time himself. He can get up and do what he likes. For the first time in years, he can write. He can stand up on his own. You will understand the next pictures. If you're Chinese, it's important that you can help yourself to relieve yourself. You cannot do when you're in a wheelchair. And minors are there to look after you. You see, remember he couldn't walk? We had to hold him. Now you see the man. The lady behind, this is his wife. I had the pleasure to know the family. And I can tell you a lot in the days I spent with them in the hospital, with the doctors. We are there as a system provider, not as doctors. We assess how the system has to be set for the case. You can see him, the freedom. Came in with a wheelchair days before. 29 days. Don't forget, he couldn't even stand up and he was in a wheelchair. And now watch what he does. He can sit. And so freely he moves. This technology gives man his dignity back. But the beauty with it is he's got his emotions back too. As I said in the Iranian presentation this week, we asked his daughter to hold him. And when she came back, she was tears in her eyes. She said, I'm 30 years old, so, and it's the first time my father has ever helped me. Look, now he goes up the wall. He has to be retaught everything. This morning he was throwing footballs, or what he called the balls that he could do. He's a football fanatic. All his t-shirts belongs to some football club. Unfortunately, one is Manchester City. But he wears French football team clubs, the top club, Saint-Germain. And he is oil man. He works with China Oil. What is interesting, you remember he couldn't walk. Now, if you look, he walks backward. This is very important position for him. He follows, he's learning everything step by step. We have a dedicated team in the hospital working with him and the other patients with him. You see, he's walking backwards. Walking backwards needs a lot of coordination and trust in movement. And you see his minder never leaves his side. You got to understand something. That boy in 4 weeks' time has no job. He's literally walking himself to unemployment because he's been employed to look after him. And he's such a caring boy. He's literally like his son. He protects him like a father. I had the pleasure to be with them for a week. A man who couldn't stand up, now he wants to go up the wall. It's his pride to be able to stand up. Leg has no strength. If you are a physiotherapist, if you're a man of a sport, you know what it means when you haven't used muscles for years. Now you can see what we are offering, what the new technology is seen on the worldwide screen, on what this technology is really delivering. And don't forget, health is a small part of our technology. You're wheelchair bound. You've been in a position that through the whatever condition you have got to positions, now you talk to the doctors. We are developers of the technology, not the medical people. But we tell you where the technology is going and how it does and how it appears. We have people with epilepsy, 19 years old. Up to last Monday, if he could, he goes to school half day. This Monday, full time. The boy has got a life, not some 43 different tablets is given today. Both patients now are in the process of reduction by the supervision of the doctors. One will reaches 25% reduction in next week, and the other one the following week. And within 2 months to 4 months, with the supervision of the doctors, zero medication. The conditions are not that they come back, because with this technology, the root of the process is solved. The main, emotional and physical. This system is not answerable and will not be the solution to all, at least not for a time being, as the scientists gather more information and as we develop it for its different application. This system, set in a correct condition, can fly. We will show this as one system integrated in Tehran. This system will produce material. This system will be able to deliver water and everything else the man needs. Do not forget, in the term of man, when you need water, you have to drink that it refreshes or gives the right amount of energy to keep the cells of the body in lubrication and motion. This technology delivers the component energy of the water to the body of the man, and in the body of the man transforms to water, to what is needed. It's so advanced that very soon we will see many world leaders trying it. As we know, we see a very atrocity starting yesterday by state of Turkey against people. But you will see one of the first people in this machine will be the leaders of Turkey who had different failures and cancers. Stop all our problem, and I hope giving extent of life to these people will bring peace to them, not problems. We have seen those who've been present in the conference in Vienna publishing across internet that this system will be offered to German Chancellor. For what we've seen, she's shaking in public heavily as part of the body Parkinson. Your Excellency, Chancellor Merkel, the system is open. your representative from embassy was in the conference, and we offered it directly to your nation, to be offered to you as a head of state.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. I think that definitely gives us the details on what we were looking for. So is there any questions or comments on that, especially in reference to the video we saw of the fellow recovering his ability to walk, which is quite remarkable. I do note that there's people, knowledge seekers, that have started GoFundMe campaigns in order to finance these units and get them into their vicinity. I know both Peggy and Mark are, that's Mark House, not Mark Carlton, and Peggy are co-host here today, are interested in getting these units somewhere, either very close to themselves so they can make use of them, and others in their area. So I believe there's at least one or two other similar fundraising campaigns going on that I know of, and there may be a lot more going on in the background. I'm sure people are thinking about it. How can we get these units into our local clinic, or you know, maybe an alternative healing space, or an office space, or, you know, some sort of professional environment, you could say, that's welcoming for a doctor to be available, and possibly a therapist, depending on the situation. So pretty exciting stuff, and people are looking for ways to raise funds to do that. So I would like to find out from whether it's okay to advertise those links to the GoFundMes. I see they're in the chat here, but I'd like to put them on screen, but I'm not sure if we're supposed to do that yet. So I'll find out from management whether that's okay. And then it'd be good to, I think it'd be great to help promote people that want to get these units, find a way to get the funds to make it happen.
I agree, Rick. This is Peggy. I don't know other countries, what type of fundraising platforms they have available, but I do encourage everyone in every country, in every town, every knowledge seeker to begin immediately, to build teams, go to the different doctors, because Mr. Kesh did say we need a doctor and a physician, or a physician and a physical therapist. And I can see obviously with that gentleman why a physical therapist would be needed. But if we can get out there, you know, I would love these globally. I joke that even though Mark and I are both in the United States, for me to get to him and vice versa is very similar as going from Rome to Paris. And so the more that we can bring to the people, it will be beautiful. So please, all languages, all countries, please look into sharing this knowledge and pulling what availabilities you have together. Thank you.
Yes, right on. Thank you, Peggy. Tony, did you want to speak, or did you just have your microphone open? Okay. I was going to say that We have a couple of comments in the YouTube. Super Sleuth says, at those prices, how will this benefit the rest of humanity that don't have that kind of income or even reserves? Does anyone have an idea of what the cost would be for treatment to the public? All that's covered in what Mr. Kesh said regarding the unit, which is that, first of all, once these become mass produced and available to local communities, then it'll actually be covered by the government as part of the government plans, and there might be a public unit available or different ways that people can take advantage of this. And also Mr. Kesh said that for people that truly can't afford it, that the Kesh Foundation would find a way for them to benefit from it as well. And he mentioned another way that for those that are ill and are putting thousands of dollars toward the regular medical treatments, then they might be able to get together with other people and put that money toward getting a unit in their community, so that not only they would benefit, but others would benefit as well. So to start with, it's offered to knowledge seekers at a relatively low price, because the price set will go up to €500,000 in the new year, and then up to €1,000,000 in March of the new year. And at that point, it's basically available more to governments and medical centers and some doctors and so on. Lots of medical equipment costs into the millions of dollars. If you look at MRI scanner and that kind of thing, it's multiple millions of dollars.
Rick,
Mm-hmm.
just to use myself as an example, and I believe you said Carrie wants to share something with us.
Yeah, we should get to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but real quick, just for an example, someone like myself, I would require air transportation that is the medical type of air transportation, where you have to be flown with your medical team and that kind of stuff. For example, if I was going to go to what Mr. Kesh was speaking about, go to China for the treatments in the units. And I think he said that was going to be around 25,000 euros. Well, for me, I would have to add on the additional costs of going from the US to China in a medevac type of craft, and that's going to be more than 200,000 right there. You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, so just get together, everybody, put your heads together and just keep talking, and it will come. Thank you all.
Maybe what we need to do is build the medical center around you, Peggy, so you don't have to go anywhere. You're part of the center is part of you, and then when you're not using the unit, others could, of course, book it for appointments and that kind of thing, and that would help.
That's exactly my plan. Yep, that's exactly my plan, Rick, is to
and then you
pull
start
this together.
Your Oasis idea, and the whole. This is actually a perfect unit for use in a anywhere basically, but in a secluded areas. If you're out on a on a relatively quiet nature environment, you can actually get into this unit and be even more enhanced in that quiet environment, as it would probably be quiet inside the unit and so on. But you can imagine a nice healing environment in nature, but yet having this high-tech, relatively sophisticated unit. It's actually very basic, natural shape. The egg has got to be the most natural shape in the world, perhaps. So it should fit right in with nature in a way.
Exactly. I see Ursula having one in her oasis.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Good example. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. I hear a voice.
It comes with a green hand. Message for Peggy. Are you anywhere near Houston?
No, that's another 1,400 miles. That's another trip from Paris to Rome the other direction.
Oh, geez. So you're closer to the Pacific, are you?
I'm at the southern border of Arizona. So I'm about 100 miles south of John and the Arizona Manufacturing Center.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to send you a link later on for a lady. I just have to find her number. She's down in Houston, and she can't fund me because she's American and I'm Canadian. So either she doesn't qualify or I don't qualify. But you qualify, so I'm going to text that to you.
That's beautiful. We can discuss later. Thank you so much, Alex. And
Yeah.
believe me, my mission is not just for myself. There are so many people that I can just think of, just hundreds, as I just think of the people in passing that I know will benefit from this. And I'm going tomorrow to my doctor to get him on board. So, yep, I'm excited.
I believe you. Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you so much. And Mark as well. I know Mark will do much good as well. And all the knowledge seekers.
Yes, definitely. You can see Mark he's got a huge influence and he'd be able to draw a crowd, let's say. I think that once one of these units gets set up, wherever it would be, it might be in I was just thinking, what if you had one set up in a medical center in a mall? And, that word would get out and people would want to experience it. And perhaps you could have, short treatments available, 5-minute experience of the being in the egg. And
that's perfect, Rick, because that's what they're doing here in the US as the brick and mortar stores are closing their doors and just doing online businesses. We're being left with a lot of vacant malls. And a lot of these malls are being turned into medical plazas because that's the big thing. There's just too many that are broken right now. And if they need that size of facilities for people, why not? We put the egg in there and, people that are traveling, for example, as Mr. Kesh said, they have their codes and they can stop in and get their treatment anywhere then. It's so many things. So it's beautiful. I don't want to take Carrie's time.
Yeah, and I just want to state one other thing. I noticed in the news locally here in the Victoria, BC area, that it's actually there's a center for cancer that is very well renowned in the world, and they're having a conference in a couple of weeks here, and they're bringing in these guest speakers. I was looking at the list, and you're dealing with the viral and virus aspects of cancer and looking at alternate ways of boosting the immune system so that we have this natural way of fighting cancer, which is essentially what Mr. Kesh is doing with this unit. This enhances the your own body through connection to the soul, you might say, or connection to the workings of the machine, the device, and bingo, you overcome various afflictions through your own body. And I'm thinking, well, why not try to get them to see this video? And so I'm going to try to insert the video somewhere in this conference to get these doctors to, it's all about new technologies and the latest, cutting edge things and so on. So why not stimulate them about what's coming up, basically. So I think everyone can find a way to do that. Okay, we should get to Carrie. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Could I just add something real quick? Mr. Kesh said many of the world leaders are sick, and there are many rich people that are sick as well. And if a guy was worth $100 million, but even if he spends it in the current structure, he'll never get his dignity back because there's no solution. So this unit is priceless, because I'm sure many rich people have said, I would give up half of my wealth or almost all my wealth if I could just get my dignity back.
There was only an alternative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in that
so
sense,
this is a priceless unit.
Maybe the knowledge seekers can get a 10-unit package deal if some rich person would make a large donation, so that these could be spread to 10 different cities or areas of the world, and from there, why not multiply that by 10 or 100 or 1,000, and it will spread as the word gets out of the effectiveness and so on. So yeah, I definitely can see that. But it's difficult to convince people if they don't already have people telling them that it works. So even if they're rich, they may not want to part with their money until they actually experience it or whatever. But we will see. Okay, Carrie, do you want to show what your testimonial? You have something to do with ice?
Yeah, and I just made a little slideshow so I can screen share it, if that works.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Let me hit screen share. Let's see, you can start. You can't start while the other participant is sharing.
I'm unsharing.
Okay.
Does it allow you there now?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sharing. Let me hit full screen. Okay. So it's so wonderful to be hearing about the egg, the universal unit, and this real powerful future science that we've all believed would come in our lifetimes and are seeing come. So very, very exciting. So coming out of that, back down to a simple everyday solution that people can do a little closer to home. Meanwhile, this is simply ice made from our water station, and I'll show a picture in a minute of what the water station looks like. It's the plasma station that Dr. Paul and Lynn make, who were in the medical teachings. Dr. Paul restored his own failing replaced kidney, got rid of cataracts. He's managed his diabetes to go down to a bare minimum, and he's close to 80 now, I think. But this station we have about 30 vials of GANs on our station, and each GANs has it can have 100 different materials in it that might be, of course, usually the basic CO2 GANs, and probably several other GANs as maybe gold or whatever he's felt is appropriate, because he was a veterinarian and they both spent a really lot of time studying the medical teachings. He just started kind of creating these formulas that his soul drew him to do. And so there's herbs, there's vitamins, there's different kinds of nutrients, there's food GANs, and then there might even be a medicinal of some sort or a plant medicine. in all these different ganses, and each one of them has a focus and a purpose. Like it might be called insomnia, or it might be called mosquitoes, or it might be called eczema. So not necessarily claiming anything, except that it will help change our energy fields. So my favorite way of seeing what the material I'm working with is doing is to freeze it, or to freeze with a tool. A lot of times we'll freeze with a health pen or something similar to see what kind of a pattern that makes. But this is amazing, and I'll just go through these. There's a great big ball in the middle of this. Now I made this in a big like fruit bowl kind of, and this is just simply the water in our water station that has been potentized by vials of plasma water. They also ship the plasma station, if they're doing it in the winter or to another country, with just patches that are paper towel that has been dried with that particular GANS and gone into a sealed plastic. But in this one, you can really kind of see the big ball at the middle of it, and it's really amazing water. Here is the different perspectives, so you can see what it looks like. We're ending, I actually, believe it or not, right now I have a bucket of this water in our freezer to see if I can get like a full 3D image of what we're kind of getting to see visible here. So I think that's the last one there. So that's about what a water station looks like. This is not ours. This is someone who is a friend of ours who just set his station up, and he sent us this picture, and it's so nice and neat. We have 30 vials around ours, and they have packing taped around the outside of them, and it doesn't look so pretty. So I just used this picture to make it easier to see what it would look like. So the other day, we actually live in the Yucatan of Mexico. And the other day we live without a car. We use public transportation because it's very available. And a lot of times we'll take what's called a colectivo taxi, where these taxi drivers drive, they fill up with 4 people and they take them to the other little villages. So we got in the taxi the other day with this young man, and he said to us, after he stopped, he said, and we had him bring us to our house instead of just dropping us off at the highway. And he said, I have been waiting to run into you guys again for a year. And he said, a year ago, you gave me water from your water station because I had a cough. And I drove you here, and I had a cough that was so bad, I had spent a year trying to get rid of it. I've gone to doctors, I'd had antibiotics, I'd done all these things. And he said, overnight, in 24 hours, the cough was completely gone and never came back. And he was so excited and so delighted. And he has a little girl, I think, little baby. He wants to bring her and his wife here to visit us, but this is him. His name is Jose. And so when he brought us back this time, we had filled up his bottle with plasma water. And we said, look, you can take this home. You can refill a whole bunch of other bottles with it and then fill them up with water. You can set some next to your plasma station. You can put one in your taxi. You can put this pad behind your back that's aching in the taxi, and you can share it with all your friends. And what's amazing about a water station like this, and it doesn't have to be Dr. Paul and Lynn's, I mean, a person can make their own. He's just put so many, probably hundreds and thousands of hours in making all these different Gansas with really strong purpose and intent to them, and wonderful ingredients. That it's such a it's a treasure, I think, in the world of people that have put things together. And let's see, what did I put below this? Oh yeah, this is, let me go to the dogs in a minute. So anyway, Jose, this young man, was so excited, and he's going to bring his family and come back and visit us. But and we use this water every day. We use it in our laundry. I actually have bottles of GANS they have GANS in the bottom that I constantly refill with the station water. And then I pour that water into my washer. We don't use laundry soap because our washer actually discharges into our gray water discharges into our yard, into some gardens. So we don't really want the laundry soap going in there. So and we don't need it on our clothes. We don't want it on our clothes. We don't want to smell that fake perfume and chemical and all of that. So we wash our clothes with the plasma water. When I mop floors, that water goes into our mopping water, and along with a couple of natural things that I make a citronella with lime peels, because I'm trying to make things here kind of like Tom Salas does, that are so simple that the local people can do it. So I'm trying to figure that out, because we live in a very, very poor village, and we do a bunch of different service things here, like teaching English, teaching nutrition, helping the animals get well, organizing spay and neuter clinics, which I wish we had a non-surgical way to do that, but for now it's what we need to do. But anyway, so we use it in our laundry. So the stuff that I make that goes into the floor mopping, we put a little vinegar in, and I put a cane alcohol, which is a drinking, a really cheap alcohol a person can drink, as opposed to isopropyl alcohol. But I fill a jar up with that and lime peels and let it sit for a week. And I've basically made a citronella extract, and that goes into our all of our floor mopping stuff, soap. Pretty much we just use it everywhere in everything. It gets poured over our head when we take a shower. So anyway, let me continue. In our work with the animals here, this is a dog who 3 weeks before this was absolute just skin and bones. It couldn't move. It was just lying on the ground. And the people brought it to our spay and neuter clinic to ask to have it put down. And they went home to get the little bit of money that they needed to pay, and they decided they wanted to help it live. And we went the next day to check and see what happened, because they had never come back. And they said, and because we wanted to tell them you didn't need to have money, because we take in donations to help take care of everything. And they said, no, we really want to help it live. And I said, I did not know if there was any hope for this dog. And I said, well, let me bring you a solution. And so I came home and I used our station water, and I made in the blender a solution that had sardines in it, so it would drink it or eat it with its food, and some tea tree oil and neem oil and some charcoal carbon down here, which is just an amazing remedy. So natural and so simple. And again, we're going back to nanomaterials. So I blended this stuff, and I brought her 2 1 liter bottles of it, and told her to put a couple inches out of that in its food each time she fed it. And we came back 2 weeks later, and the dog had jumped out of a wheelbarrow and broken its leg when it was in complete, it was about half as, it was thinner than it is in this picture, so thin it could barely be alive. And it's a relatively young dog, and this is probably, do I want to say distemper? I'm trying to think of what it is. But in a village like this, there's too many dogs, not good nutrition, and so much poverty, and inability for people in Maslow's hierarchy of values. People don't even have enough food, so how are they going to take care of their dog better? So that's why these clinics we're doing are so important, but we're teaching all the time too. And we post things in Spanish on their Facebook site, and people have started just loving the things that we share. So this dog started getting better, and even we were amazed. And so I'll go on to this next picture, and he's better now. He still has some improving to do, but we keep bringing them bottles of this stuff. I'll show you a bottle of it in a minute. This is a dog who wasn't so worn down and wasn't so sick, but the lady could see that he started getting sick. And so we brought her a bottle of it. And that's what the bottle looks like when we make it, because it's got the charcoal ground up in it, which makes it black. But anyway, that's the story of what we're doing with our station water and what it looks like. Go back up to this.
Well, thanks, Carrie. That was great news. Wonderful to see your testimonial there. Any questions for Carrie? Could you just repeat how this one was done again?
I made this in just a plastic bowl that would be, you'd think of it like a fruit bowl or a big salad bowl or something. You can see it's a pretty big, here's the reason I did it in that is because we always make our ice in, I don't know, I have a tall plastic container that's maybe 4 inches across. And it always looked like it was just chopping off whatever was trying to form in there. We could always see the beautiful form, but we never could see the whole thing. And so we had kept talking about, well, let's put something in there big enough so we can really see the whole field that we're getting. And then this is so pretty. It's got rainbow light coming through it too, but it's amazing, you know, and I think you can do this with any plasma tool or device or water that you're working with, you know, and remember, this is not even the GANS or the GANS water. It is water potentized by the GANS water. So it just tells us it has a beautiful field. It has a beautiful life. It has beautiful magnetic gravitational properties. That's what I would, you know, that's my interpretation of it.
And also, if you were to look at some of the pictures of the latest, what's called the Sapphire project, SAFIRE, where they have a hydrogen plasma with an electrode, a round electrode that looks, you could say, similar to the center of this image. And what forms around that in this chamber that they've created and they're doing experiments in their reactor, essentially, is it's a double layer effect. So you get your central core, which is active, and then there's an area that's clear, like you see here, and then another outer ring where the temperature rises way up even higher than it is in the central core. And that this is what struck them, and what they discovered which was really unusual, is that outer ring was so hot that it surprised them, and it surprised the instrument that the special tungsten probe they had for the temperature, it melted it.
Wow.
And they
Well,
went, oops.
This is what's really interesting about this, and every time we freeze this water, because I freeze it regularly because I'm into drinking deuterium depleted water, and so I freeze it and I take the outside shell off. But what happens is the very last part to freeze is that baseball shape in the middle. It takes forever to freeze. And as Lynn has told me, she's left jars of her GANs outside in the winter and they don't freeze. And it's just like, you know, like we were talking about a couple of years ago, hanging the pieces of nano-coated copper around inside a room to help keep a more ambient temperature. This doesn't freeze very fast. And I've made a lot of really beautiful pictures of ice. I have an ice video in my 21st Century Superhuman YouTube channel. I have an ice video that shows a lot of this and other ices. And then I have a couple of shows with Lynn and Paul on this water station. But in that ice video, I have a lot of pictures that have a beautiful bulb in the middle of them, or even a torus-shaped open space. And it stays liquid in there for super, super, super long. And then when it freezes, I mean, it took about 3 days for this to freeze. When it freezes, then that part in the inside turns into this big ball that's more concentrated. And I actually had somebody who does Ormus write me and say, the Ormus comes out of the ice and it's what turns white, that presses towards the inside, and it does a certain movement in the torus field. So, I mean, I can't say I know all the scientific properties of what's going on here, but I love those rays that go out to the outside, and we see those really beautifully in a lot of the ices that Tom Salas makes when he's actually using GANs or a nano-coated copper tool with the ice. It'll make kind of a more powerful ray pattern like that. But yeah, amazing.
Carrie, I have a question.
Okay.
Since this is Peggy, of course.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. It's lovely to hear you.
You too.
Thank you. Since you're using the same plastic bucket and you're using the method where you're putting it on the outside, do you think there's residual fields now built up in that plastic container so that each time you're refreezing, you're getting almost a layering effect of the fields?
Well, I've never frozen in this. This is the first time I'm excited about this ice because it's the first time I did any so big, but I've certainly frozen in my freezer before. I mean, in our house and our property certainly have fields on it. So I don't think there's any escape from that, but it's the first time I froze in this container.
Good to know. Thank you for the
Yeah.
clarification on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anybody else? Okay, then I'll stop sharing. Thank you so much. And hello and much love to all here. So good to hear all of you.
Beautiful. Good to hear from you too, Karen. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said thank you, Carrie.
You are welcome.
Okay, does anyone else have something they'd like to bring up here?
Hi, Rick. Hi, Flynn. Hi, I'm Adrian from Romania. I want to speak with you one experiment. I need the help the body done.
I am here.
Ok, mersi,
Go
Dan.
ahead, Adrian.
Vreau să le povestim că am Cash Foundation în România a dezvoltat și dezvoltă o aripă de cercetare pe agricultură.
Okay, I want to saying the Cash Romania developed in agriculture part
Împreună cu Academia Română de Agricultură.
with Academy of Agriculture from Romania, Institute of Agriculture.
Prima noastră colaborare cu ei
The first collaboration with here with this academy
este în cazul unor semințe de uleioase, nu știu cum se spune, Dan.
with it's about first experiment with seeds or the plant from obtain the oil like sunflower sun and the others
Care în mod frecvent în România sunt contaminate cu un parazit.
in a normal way it's contaminated with parasites. How the parasite?
Eliminarea acestui parazit costă foarte mulți bani ca să fie eliminat din sămânță.
For taking out, for eliminate this parasite, it's cost heavy, so much in normal way.
Și atunci, plecând de la învățăturile domnului Cash,
starting from Mr. Cash knowledge,
am dezvoltat un dispozitiv
I
bazat
developed one device based from go ahead.
câmpuri,
Or field.
care plantat în inima depozitului de semințe,
It's put in the heart of this deposit of seeds.
crește puterea de germinație a plantei
Rise the power of germination of these plants
de la 50% la 100%.
from half from 60 50% to 100%.
Acest dispozitiv se bazează pe un star formation format din oglinzi.
This device is based in star formation way, based with mirrors.
Și o spirală de un anumit fel dintr-un tub făcută umplută cu gaz.
In one spiral, filled with gans, umplut cu gans.
Da.
Filled with gans, this spiral.
Gansurile folosite au fost CO2, zinc, magneziu și deuteriu.
I use it CO2, magnesium, deuterium, and what is else? Care e celălalt? CO2?
Zinc.
Zinc oxide.
Dispozitivul este de formă tubulară.
Is in tubular shape.
Și aș vrea să vă arăt, dacă mi se permite, poza cu momentul care s-a plantat într-o remorcă acest dispozitiv.
And I want to share it with you, if you allowed the sharing, the moment when I putting this device. Adrian asking to sharing you this picture. Go ahead, Adrian.
Imediat.
Do you want to share a picture or his video?
Picture.
Picture.
Okay.
At this moment, device, tubular device is plugged into said.
It's putting inside of.
Aici este pus, este deja introdus.
Okay, in this moment it's putting in the middle of in top of this deposit of seeds.
Și aici să vă dați seama de cantitatea de semințe care este folosită la experiment.
Here is for seeing what quantity of seeds
From experiment.
For this experiment.
Ok. Acest experiment este cu bătaie lungă, durează.
This experiment it's a long shot. It needs times for seeing the result. It's I understand from Adrian. Waiting another analysis from, I don't know, 10 days or 2 weeks.
Da, ce pot să vă spun este că la analize făcute în laboratorul institutului,
from the analysis of making in the institute laboratory,
acele insecte care parazitează sămânța au dispărut.
These parasites from the seeds, it's disappear.
Eu abia aștept să văd această sămânță plantată în pământ.
I'm waiting to see these seeds planting in the ground.
Să vedem producția pe care o va da acele câteva hectare pe care va ajunge această sămânță.
For knowing how much it's rising this production in this, I don't know how to say, these hectares of landing.
Și să putem să arătăm domnului Cash că această știință nu este valabilă numai pe orez.
For showing to Mr. Cash, this technology is not only for rice. John, come si rising.
Rice, you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
For growing rice, not just for growing rice.
This is okay. Thank you.
And what are the seeds for? What kind of
It's not only for the rice. For
what kind of seeds was he growing? What was in the trailer?
ce semințe erau, Adrian? De grâu?
Nu, de in și de semințe care generează ulei. De in.
Okay, it's a plant of from this plant is making also the cotton. Yes, cotton. And also the oil.
No, sis cotton. Cotton is bumbac. Cotton este bumbac.
Păi și ăla se face din in.
Nu. Nu știu cum le spune.
Flax maybe or hemp or something.
It's a white. You making the popular
flax seed.
Flax. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, that's clear now. Thank you. That's great. Maybe we'll get some results from that for the next testimonials meeting. You could say to him.
Ok, o să vedem următoarele rezultate, poate în următorul testimonial.
La primăvară rezultatele.
Not now saying, Adrian, only after winter.
Oh, okay.
Pentru că acum se plantează, răsar la primăvară și când vine recolta putem să facem o concluzie despre...
In this moment, but rising in spring times and foreseeing what it's achieved. But a little experiment in the garden, you can make it, Adrian. Poți să faci un experiment mic în grădină să vezi, poate și în iarnă merge.
Da, am făcut, nu am filmuletele, o să le cer la institut.
I say that Adrian, you making the little experiment in the garden for seeing what's happening winter time.
Unde test,
I don't have the little video, but I making this experiment.
La institut s-au făcut experimente la nivel de incubator de plante.
In this institute is making experiment in the incubate laboratory with these plants.
Și rezultatele au fost extraordinare.
And the result is great for it's very good result.
De-aia am fost și invitați să facem experimentul pe cultura mare.
For these reasons, it's taking invitation Adrian for making this experiment in bigger scale.
Pentru că au văzut ce se întâmplă în acele incubatoare de plante.
Because it's seeing what is happening in this little experiment.
Și această cultură, în general, în România se face, dar se face cu costuri foarte mari.
In normal way, this production in Romania is making with bigger costs, investment.
Asta din cauza acestor paraziți care se focusează pe sămânță.
For reason from this parasite fixed in the seas.
Ok. Am timp să vă povestesc și mai face și grupul românesc între picături.
I'm glad because I can tell what making the group of Romania between the drops, saying Adrian.
Sunt dator la voi cu un sistem de plasmă aprinsă. Nu am apucat să-l termin.
I know I'm debit, is saying credit and debit with you with a system of plasma lighting.
Pe care nu am apucat să-l termin.
Is not already... Ce nu este încă?
Nu l-am terminat încă.
Is not finished. Saying again.
Pentru că au apărut proiecte de urgență gen acesta de agricultură.
Because it's appearing this emergency project like this experiment of agriculture.
Și dacă vrem ca această știință să fie privită cu ochi buni de guverne, aceste experimente nu trebuie să ratate.
Okay, it's needed not making from good relation with the government. It's needed to put in front this kind of experiment. It's not allowed to step aside without knowing. Like, how to say, open the door in this part of things with the government, with the agriculture, with the salute health and other things.
Okay, thank you all for this beautiful day. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Adrian. Is it done there now? Okay. Okay, thank you, Adrian. That was good to hear from you. Anybody else that wants to say anything before we close down here? Just looking at the comments online. Someone asked, would a hyperbaric chamber force oxygen into the bone be a help before or after a treatment? I don't know. You'd have to ask one of the doctors that was running the specific treatment for you, and depending on your condition and so on and so forth, they might or might not recommend such a thing.
I remember Mr. Kesh saying it's pushing from, it's not needed to breathing in a certain time. No, achieving not consuming the oxygen in matter state, breathing only the field. You're feeding only with field. I remember this. With each breath, I kill the other entity. It's needed to learn it, how not breathing.
Okay, thanks, Dan. And thank you for translating today. And John earlier as well. Okay, I think we should wrap things for today, folks. Is there any last comments?
I want to say, but I think Jalal say better. I don't know.
I was going to suggest Jalal jump in there. So.
Okay, can't we?
Okay, wait. Let me show you something. You will like it. Can you?
You should be able to override. There we go. Are you trying to show your video then? You are showing your video. Okay, let me get it pinned and spotlighted.
Look at this type of guns.
Very fluffy. Is guns of guns or your guns?
What do you think?
You are creating only your power of mind.
No. It is guns. This all three from the same guns, from this one. but everyone is a little bit slightly different. One with vinegar, one with caustic, and one is normal. The beauty in this one with caustic, if you shake it, it will take a long time to settle. More than half an hour. And it will not set like this one. Never.
Because you have a nano of GANs. You are nano coating the GANs.
Yeah, I opened up even the guns.
You have at this moment 3 guns for 3 applications. Hello.
What you said? Sorry.
You have ai acolo 3 gansuri făcute pentru 3 aplicații diferite.
You have 3 type of GANs from 3 different applications.
Yeah, but it's only one guns. One guns. No. You take out the guns. This is the guns. If you go and put again, you put caustic in it.
Change the condition.
You change the condition, and if you put vinegar to it, it will change the condition.
It's more acidic one, and caustic is more alkaline. You're balancing the pH or balance of acidic or alkaline.
Jalal, you have changed the medium from materialization from this gun.
Actually, if you look to it in another way, you give it energy or you take from it energy. You understand? This is very important. This guns, whatever it is here, and whatever pH, no matter. After that, if you put it in condition that you take energy from it, or you give it more energy. You understand? It's not about what you are using.
I would think it'd be the other way around. Wouldn't it have more energy when it's more like that middle one there? Would have more energy. Because it's the particles are more free. They're able to move around more easily. The other one, it's I don't see it.
If you give more energy, what does that mean? It will go more gravitational.
I think it's the other way around. If you give it more energy, it goes more magnetical and it has more freedom. But I don't know. It depends on your point of view, I guess.
Maybe it can take more to give more.
Does the element copper have more energy than the nano? And does the nano have more energy than the GANs?
Good question.
Or is it the other way?
Jalal.
Or neither?
Yeah.
Energia gansului este aceeași, dar depinde de mediul care este recepționat.
The energy is the same, but it's important environment. If you receive or give.
Yes.
It's how manifesting.
Yes.
When you added
you open up the spacing, or
so is that
you reduce the gap.
Right. So which is receiving and which is giving?
Or more open.
Both.
More open is more receiving. Or more giving.
More open is both, but it's more receiving. So it is more
More receiving in what way? In gravitational way
In the
or in
gravitational,
magnetical
yes.
way?
Jalal,
In the gravitational, to give more.
Jalal, gansul este același. Mediul în care se manifestă este diferit.
Yes, this Adrian saying is the same guns, but the environment is different.
Yes, but which one, in terms of giving and receiving?
Okay, okay.
Is there,
Let me give you a tip. If you have fields, and from this field you make ganses. This ganses, if you want to make it matter state, what you will do? You will take out the energy from it. And then it will manifest itself as a matter.
And you mean that as in the acid environment? Does that make it more matter? It looks more solid?
Yeah, because this is not matter.
So you're saying the acid environment takes the energy out of
Yes.
the ants? Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
If you put the matter in acid environment, it will open up as a stomach.
But it seems the opposite here. It's
You take out from it the energy. You are not adding to it. You see, this is the same dance. But I like this one really. It's beautiful to play with it.
mm-hmm.
It's like a cloud.
A cloud is the word I was about to say, yeah.
I know you are reading my mind, eh?
We're reading our mind.
Okay.
And maybe we thank like you say.
Okay,
I making the experiment in the similar way. It's the same guns, but I like it when I looking the crystal formation inside of these guns. Depends of medium environment. When I take one bottle jar in same different position, different environment, I achieve different shape of crystal of yes, ice crystal saying, but it's not ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. You can play with all the ganses you have with this method and see what you will get.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to experiment. Good suggestion.
Thank you, guys.
Very good. Thank you. Any other last comments before we wrap up here?
It's time 30 seconds for showing in two pictures of today difference for seeing these crystals.
You have some pictures you want to show? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. It's about 30 seconds. I have to really get going here. I'm late. The show is supposed to end 15 minutes ago or an hour or 45 minutes ago. So
you have 10 seconds.
Okay. Okay, that's this.
Oh, those are big crystals, yeah.
And the same gas. This is the other with more hydroxide. And this is the same gas, but in another more temperature. It's modified. I have also, but it's not in this shape of Superman house. It's the same. One is taken from in the sun, and the other in the place of shadow.
That's with a lot of caustic. Is that what you're saying in those ones?
Not here. This is CH3. This is from with a little bit of caustic. It's copper oxide. This. Okay, 30 seconds is gone. Thank you.
You could bring that up in the Kesh Plasma Reactor group if you wanted to. We could talk about that more. It'd be interesting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dan. All right, gonna wrap things up here. So thank you everyone for participating and attending today's 35th public testimonial meeting. Do you want to do the official ending?
Go ahead.
I guess I'm already into it.
Yeah.
1 foot already. Might as well put the other foot in. So this has been the 35th public testimonials meeting for Monday, October 14th, 2019. As always, thank you everybody for attending and translating and participating. And we'll see you next month in November, whatever it is.
Taking a look right now.
My calendar here.
November 11.
November 11th, 2019. So a month from now.
November 4th.
What?
What's that?
Say again, Adrian.
No, it's good. It's very good. Say Rick. Good. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. All right, so that ends it for today, and we'll see you next time around. Of course, we also have the 1N, 1P, 1R for world peace, coming up tomorrow, as well as the Kesh Plasma Reactor Group, and of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop on Thursday. All right, thanks everyone. See you next time around.
Hello. We are the Kesh Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshfoundation.org/donate. Hello.